And welcome back to another episode of Crisp from AliExpress, and today we're gonna be testing this little GPU here, and this is RX 6500 XT. As you can see, it's from MSI. Don't be confused, I'm using front face camera, so everything will be in a mirror. It's MECH X2 model with 2 fan. It requires 6-pin power connector. And of course it has 2 ports, display ports and HDMI. I don't know which version they are, but that is not really matters. One more, it's a pretty decent and nice model with nice looking, as you can see from all angle. But this GPU is working on PCI X4 4.0, so yes, that would be not really good. Anyway, switch on desktop now. As I said, I'm testing RX 6500 XT, which is of course the GDDR6 with 4GB of VRAM from MSI and of course from 2022. And as you can see, I'm using the latest AMD drivers. They are recording this video. So CPU period GPU is i5-10400, which will be enough for this GPU, but GPU is working on PCI 3.0, so with 4.0 you'll have slightly better frames. And yes, I'm using the 12GB of RAM, which will be enough for GTA 5 because we are testing GTA 5, so 16GB of RAM will be the same. Now we can start with this benchmark and let's begin. What do you think for 4K resolution in normal settings? This would be pretty interesting, and I think that I will test first 8K resolution. So this is normal settings without advanced graphic, 8K resolution, and I didn't expect this frames. This is almost playable. For me this is totally playable, I don't know for you, but this is, I don't know, I didn't expect these frames because this GPU is really critical. Anyway, we got plus 30 frames per second most of the time, at average 29. So this is a pretty decent for 8K and normal settings. I don't know what to say, it's 30 frames per second and average. I need to change to motorcycle because I like it, and I don't know what to say, I didn't expect these frames. Bro, this is unbelievable. This GPU is not that bad. Anyway, 30 frames per second, 37, now we have 35, this is, and now we have 25. But what if I try resolution scale? I want, yes, 12K, and this is 10 frames, what I expected, and this is pretty decent if you ask me. This is 12K resolution, normal settings. This is expected VRAM leak and 1 frame, but okay, this is good one. 11 frames per second. Can I reset counter? But I think that I don't need to do that because 10 is all the time. I can even play with 10 frames. This is crazy, bro. But what if we try 16K? What can we expect with 16K? Can I accept? Probably I can't because 0 frames and I smell crash in the air. Yes? No? What? Yes, as I expected. Yes, as I expected, crash. Anyway, I will back to 4K. But I think before 4K we need to try 6K. With normal settings, of course, without advanced. Okay, 6K, almost 16 frames per second. Almost not. So, 6K resolution, normal settings, 50 frames per second, 51 at average, now it's 50, and if you ask me, this is pretty decent for RX 6500, definitely playable. I think that I don't want to try high settings with this resolution, normal settings will be enough, because we we are getting like 45, so with high settings you probably get 30 frames per second, but I think that no one will play with that. This is just a test, and I love to test this, bro, this is unbelievable. So with 12K we had like 10 frames per second, with 8K 30, and with 6K 45. It's logic, bro, this is definitely. So enough 6K and higher, we are testing now with 4K normal settings without advanced, of course, reset FPS counter, and let's go. 90 frames per second, at least I expected 60 frames, but this is a lot better than I expected. Keep in mind that this is AMD RX 6500, so this GPU is not that bad. So this is pretty decent. We have almost 100 frames per second at average. We have 93 at average. But this is totally playable. GPU is fully used. Of course it will be fully used. It's 4K, what we can expect, even if it's i5 10th generation. PCI 3.0 with 4.0 you will have slightly better FPS, of course, with all settings, but I think that with 4K will be the same. I think so. So depending which CPU you have, if you have like i3 12th generation, you will have pretty close to performance like I showed. Even if it's PCI 4.0, i3 12th generation can't handle with normal settings and 1080p and 1440p. 1440p, of course, normal settings without advanced, and this is a lot better, but no one needs that frames for sure. It looks like textures disappear sometimes, I don't know, it looks like, but I can't notice, so I will try to drive fast. It's good even if I'm pretty damn bad at this. So yes, yes, I have slow motion, that will help a lot. So we have 150 frames per second on average with 1440p. And not fully used GPU, so I will not try, or I will try 1080p, I don't know. So textures are loading normally. That's good to know. Okay, now I'll try 1080p, not matters if I have CPU bottleneck, it will be interesting to see. So 1080p normal settings without advanced, pretty close to 1440p, pretty close, almost the same frame because of CPU. So yes, CPU bottleneck, anyway, it's almost close. 100 and yes, 180 is the limit. This is unbelievable, bro. So we have stutters, and that stutters are because we have 188, and that is absolutely normal. But anyway, I will try now high settings, first with 4K and lower. So move to 4K high settings. So 4K resolution high settings, as I said, without advanced. Of course we get like plus 60 frames per second as I expected. Maybe sometimes will be under 60, and of course in grass area you'll get around like 40 probably, and maybe and lower, but that is not big deal, bro. It will be playable at all. So if you want to play with 4K, use high settings because it's pretty decent. So yep, GPU is fully used, bro. Why you you don't need to do that. I don't want to shoot you, I will ignore that. You hit me with car. Anyway. 64 frames per second. Man. Good man. Thank you for borrowing my car. You looks like me. Or what? Bro is running like Usain Bolt, bro. We have like 60 frames per second, but what here under 60 as I expected. Of course this grace area is more GPU intensive than CPU intensive, so even if you don't have full use GPU you will have in grace area, so yes. I see airplane. Airplane is, I don't know where is it, but I see shadows. I saw shadows anyway. Grass area is a lot of demanding. I believe I can fly. My doors are broken now and I need new car. But before that I will try with 1440p. So 1440p high settings, we have like 130 frames per second, which is absolutely great, and I didn't expect, of course I expected, because with normal settings I had like 160 frames per second, and now we have 110 frames at average. That is pretty damn good. GPU is fully used, CPU can handle with the GPU easily, even. But of course you have bandwidth bottlenecks, so with PCI 4.0 you'll probably get better frames with 1080p and 1440p. So temperature of this GPU is great, 60 Celsius for this MSI version with 2 fan Ventus. And I don't know what to say, except I need to try, maybe 1080p will be 150 for sure. You have nice look car, and I need the same, so I will borrow. Thank you, my friend. Okay, my friend, you are good and I'm good, we all are good, and frames also are good, so we will move to 1080p resolution. So yes, 1080p resolution, high settings without advanced. Now to see frames, almost the same like 1440p, and because CPU, GPU can be fully used, and yes, GPU is half used. Almost half used, more than one. Anyway, this is still so pretty decent, so you don't need better if you want to play with 1080p and high settings, but I don't recommend it. Very high settings and 1080p, even ultra without MSAA and advanced for this GPU will be probably good. But we will test on that. Okay, do you have... do you want... No! Stop, bro. Okay, I need that one. Thank you, bro. You are my brother from another mother. Okay, this is a good one. Nice motorcycle. Nice one. We have like 126 frames per second and average, 1080p resolution, high settings. We can feel sometimes status sometimes, but it is not a big deal. GPU is cooled down 48 Celsius degree, bro, unbelievable. This is unbelievable. So we will try now very high settings 4K, and of course we need to rest our game for that. So yes, we are in game now, and of course in menu I have like 30 frames per second, even in that definitely doesn't make a sense. So yes, we are in game now and we are resetting with 30 frames per second. That is absolutely normal for this game because menu have lower frame than game. Yes, absolutely, 4K resolution, very high settings. VRAM is not fully used, but it will be probably. So 40 frames per second, 41 at average, and that is absolutely pretty decent. If maybe it's pretty decent for this GPU. It's pretty decent because GPU isn't that great, but of course it isn't that bad. Anyway, GPU is good. GPU is not a problem. All problem I had with those AMD GPUs are because of AMD drivers, and mostly AMD drivers are problem, but GPUs are great even if this GPU doesn't have encoder. But if you want just for gaming, this GPU will be absolutely enough for everyone who want to play newer games. With normal settings, medium settings, of course, 1080p resolution can run all games. People say that it doesn't have enough VRAM. Somehow in some games will be fully used, but maybe... But most of time will not be a problem because you can use lower settings and 1080p resolution will not eat too much VRAM. Why? What I'm doing here, bro? What I'm doing here, I don't know. Can I jump from here? I think I can. Of course, I think that I will not die, and I'm not dying. And I will... bro, not on my head. Okay, okay. This is grass area, and of course, here is more demanding. But I will try now 1440p. So 1440p, very high settings, without advanced graphic. In grace area we got plus 16 frames per second, which is absolutely good because everywhere you can get like more, like 18 maybe we'll see. But we need a car, Does someone has a car? I don't want that. This is a nice one. Anyway, we have like 73 frames at average, which is pretty decent. The GPU temperature is still great. Of course, with fully used GPU. No. I want motorcycle again. This is a good one. So, bro, please give me your motorcycle. Thank you. Thank you. You are good, man. Thank you, my boy. You are good. You are good. You give me a motorcycle for free. Okay, we have like 78, 77 frames per second at average, 1440p resolution with very high settings, and that is pretty decent for the GPU. It's RX 6500, what we can expect. It is not that bad. It is not that bad, of course. Okay. Okay, I didn't hit you. I didn't want you. I think with 1080p will not get fully used GPU, even with very high settings, but I will try that after this, just to drive a little more to see frames more. And details are good with very high settings. Graphics, it's still great, of course. This is pretty decent, so we will move to 1080p resolution. So 1080p resolution, very high settings without advanced graphic. Later we will try with advanced graphic, and this is absolutely good. 100 plus 100 frames per second with very high settings, 1080p resolution. So yep, this is great. This is great. We almost get like fully used GPU, but it's decent. It's decent. Why I just died without. Okay. Nice son, a nice one. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking, so I will need your car. Thank you, man. Yes, you can run now. Of course, 120 frames per second at average with 1080p resolution. We almost get like fully used GPU. I think that with i7 10th generation will be fully used GPU definitely, and you will get like slightly better frames, and yeah, it will be probably. Usually I'm testing with i9-100F, but now I'm testing with i5 10th generation. I don't know why, I'm testing because I have that configuration right now, so yep. Soon I will probably make another configuration for testing. I will probably make i5 11th generation because PCI 4.0, so I will test RX 6500 and 6400 with PCI 4.0, and probably I will try with i9 11th generation or 12th generation to see fully used GPUs, because I'm testing GPUs, and yes, you know, if you're testing GPUs you will need CPU which will not give you a CPU bottleneck with all of those GPU. And every normal configuration with normal CPU which will not give you a CPU bottleneck will give you exactly the same frames I showed in my video. So if you have CPU bottleneck, if you have another frames than I have, you probably have CPU bottleneck and your GPU is not fully used, so yes. I'm speaking that all the time, and I'm writing comments 24 hours per 7 days, and people still don't read it, don't get it, and I don't know why, bro. You can easily just find it on Google. You don't need me to know that, because Google also know. Thank you, man, for your motorcycle. Anyway, is he died? We need to make funeral, but after a drive. So now I will try ultra settings without MSAA, without advanced. No, I will not try 4K. Because you will get VRAM leak. I tried yesterday, I think. And yes, ultra settings without MSAA and 1080p resolution and without advanced graphic. Now we have fully used GPU, and I definitely recommend these settings. Maybe with MSAA X2 will be better, but definitely this is definitely absolutely playable, and even in grace area you can get, I think, like 60 frames per second, but I will go there and to test and to see will it be a big frames drop or will it be plus 16. Sorry people, sorry guys, sorry, okay, sorry. So we are going there to grass area. Also visiting a jack. Yes, I'm copying crisp in everything, and I need to copy with, oh bloody hell. My car is red now. I will change that. So I will change car. I know this is broken. I will try this one. Okay. Mafia level 100. So in grass area we have like 70 frames per second, which is pretty decent if you ask me, and I didn't want, I didn't want that, but okay, we saw frames. What the hell just happened? I don't know, but I can't use that car anymore. So yes, plus 60 frames per second. Here we also have, yes, this is pretty decent. I will need a new car, but before that I will try 1440p. So 1440p resolution, ultra settings without MSAA. Without advanced we get like 60 frames per second, and the RAMs will be 50, okay, 45. So I will not test 4K ultra settings. We are running on marathon, so nice look we have here. Okay, this will be my thumbnail probably. So ultra settings, MSAA X2, 1440p without advanced. Okay, this is awful. Why you are shooting me? I don't want to shoot you, but I need to. Okay, I almost died, and I will probably die. And these frames are awful. So I will try with 1080p. So 1080p with MSAA X2 ultra settings without advanced. Okay, 50 frames per second, and I just died. But of course in grace area will be 50, and that would be playable, that would be pretty decent. We died, and thanks to Jesus we will be alive. Yes, we are alive. I'm Santiago, and today we're gonna be testing GTA 5 on GTX 960. Okay. You are good, and you can give me your car. Yes, I can borrow. Yes, you okay. So 70 frames per second, 68 at average. GPU is fully used, thanks to God. VRAM is also fully used, and that is not good, and that's why this GPU needs more VRAM, but just use lower graphic settings and it will be fine. Without MSAA it will be absolutely great. You can get like 60 everywhere. Except online. Online will be more demanding because CPU, so because online is CPU intensive, of course. So I will not turn on high resolution shadows because I have a VRAM leak, and I don't know why that is a problem, probably with AMD. And yes, it's almost 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Advanced settings, ultra without MSAA, this is pretty decent. I need to check, is it ultra? Yes, it's ultra settings with advanced, like plus 60 frames per second. In grass area you will get probably 45, but I can check that. Here we also have some grass. Okay, good handling. Plus 60 all the time. Pretty nice. Here is also GPU intensive. So yes, this is great. If you ask me, this is totally playable. With even advanced graphic you can play it normally. Ultra settings, advanced without MSAA. With MSAA you will probably get a lot lower frames. I will test in that 60 all the time. Now it's under 60. Okay, but it's still playable. I don't feel any status, which is pretty good, because I had it before with older AMD drivers. Now they fixed that. Even if now I'm using beta drivers, and still I don't have any problems with the GTA 5, while with another games like, for example, God of War, I have frame drops and something like that because of AMD drivers. Now I'll try MSAA X2 and that's it. So MSAA X2 ultra settings with advanced, okay. This is a good one, this is a good one, but still it's still playable. It's still playable, but I don't recommend these settings because of VRAM. VRAM is fully used, almost fully used. But don't worry, with more you're playing, more VRAM will use. So this is pretty capable GPU for GTA 5 or for ultra settings, even if it doesn't have more than 4 GB of VRAM. It can handle somehow. So yes, this is pretty decent. I think that I will end this video here. So yes, in grass area we have like 45 frames per second, 45, 38. Okay, this is still playable. Okay, car flip 100 times. Rabbit, are you good, my friend? Rabbit in GTA 5. Okay, man. So yes, we are ending here, and thanks for watching this video. Like if you like, if you don't like, dislike, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and see you next time. Bye.